Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome James Njenga to the stage. Homeboy, Nairobi boy.
The year is 2015, and I've graduated from the University of Nairobi. I do not have a formal job, so to say, but I have a freelance writing job. So where I wake up, go to the internet, bid for jobs, write jobs, send to clients, get my money, and life is good. Then it happens that it's on the 25th of the month, and somehow I've been lazy throughout the whole month and spent all the reserves that I had, and rent is coming. And I do not have food. So I decide that, okay, I have 5 days to make rent and food, and I'm going to really work. So I wake up with that resolution, and I stretch, and I push the table that is next to my bed, which holds the desktop computer, and the keyboard that was on it falls on the ground, breaking into tiny pieces, such that you can see the Q, you can see the W, you can see everything. I realized that I have to get a new keyboard so as to work, get rent, and food. Actually, I don't have food at that moment. And I call a friend of mine, his name is Kemethi. So I tell Kemethi is a campus friend, and he's this kind of guy who always has money. He works in a bank. So I tell him, Kemethi, can you lend me some 300 Kenya shillings? And Kemethi is like, oh, James, you want 300 Kenya shillings? I don't have. And I'm like, okay, if Kemethi doesn't have money, so who has? I call a cousin who is a cousin who always sorts me out. In the family, he's like this guy that I look up to. So he tells me, okay, I don't have the money. And I'm confused. My girlfriend texts and says that, are you in the house? I tell her, yes. Okay, I'm coming. You'll find me. So she comes. And she finds me reading a novel, pretending that everything is okay. And she asks, James, I always find you working. Why are you not working today? You're always on your computer working. And your food safe looks empty. You don't have any food. And I tell her, okay. I try to evade from the question, and then she presses on, and I'm like, okay, my keyboard broke, and I do not have money to buy another one. And she's like, okay, can I buy you a new keyboard so that you can go back to your work? I get angry and tell her, no, I cannot take money from you. I don't want your money. And she's like, she puts her hand on my shoulder, and she's like, babe, look here. Every time I have a financial problem, you come in and you help me. So let me help you right now that you have this kind of problem. And I push away her hand and walk to the door, which is a metallic one, with a glass window at the top, and I stare outside. And as I'm staring, I'm thinking about this woman. This woman who is pushing me to accept money from her. You see, in my Kikuyu community, a man does not take money from a woman. The moment you start taking money from a woman, it's like, that's a taboo. She will sit on you. So I'm like, you see, my father himself would never take money from my mother. Even if my mother had so much money and my father didn't have anything for her school fees, he would not take the money from her. My friend Kemethi in campus would never take money from his girlfriend. In fact, we had taken a vow that we are never going to marry women who are at par with us. They have to be poorer, and they have to have little education so that we can feel superior. We are the men. And she's like, so I go back to her, to this girl that is pushing me to a corner, And I tell her, no, 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 I cannot take your money. I don't want your money. And she's like, okay, what if I lend it to you and you're going to pay it back? No, 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 no. I'm going to get a loan from Kimete or my cousin, but not from you. She gets so angry, she leaves. There's no hug, there's no calling other sweet names. She just goes. Towards evening, I see a mobile money M-Pesa message on my phone. You have received 900 Kenya shillings from Karo Wairimu. Your balance is 900 Kenya shillings. You see, the keyboard was to go for 300 shillings, and now she has sent 3 times that amount. And I'm like, this is an insult. I want to revert the money back to her, because if I accept it, it will be like I've buried myself. I'm now below her. So I want to revert it back. And it's then that I look at my dustbin where the keyboard is in the tiny pieces, and the food safe has nothing. And I'm now reverting buying keyboard. And then it dawns on me that, okay, if you do not take this money, it's not your community that is going to suffer. If you do not take this money, it's not your father who is going to starve. If you do not take this money, it's not going to be your community that is going to be thrown out of the house. It's you. And so I'm like, come on. I take the money, withdraw it, buy a keyboard, inscribe her name on it, and because I bought it at 300 shillings, the 600 shillings, I buy some food, go work. And it dawns on me that, well, men, accepting help from a woman does not make us inferior. It does not make us to be below them. It makes the relationships better. It makes them feel that we are equal. That it's not them to always receive, but they can also give. Thank you.